Meta tests facial recognition for spotting celebbait, ad scams and easier account recovery. Ireland's new online Meta tests facial recognition for spotting celebbait, ad scams and easier account recovery. Ireland's new online safety code to protect children on social platforms including Facebook, YouTube and TikTok. In the U.S., Biden administration proposes new rules governing data transfers to adversarial nations, as U.S. moves ahead with crackdown on data brokers selling to 6 countries of concern. In the U.S., 26 people remain unaccounted for in North Carolina following Hurricane Helene. Tropical storm Nadine sweeps across Belize, dumps rains on Mexico, and at least 2 dead and hundreds rescued in severe New Mexico flash flooding. Egypt is certified malaria-free by WHO. Trump appears to post fake image of himself as a star NFL player. McDonald's Donald Trump worked at failed last health inspection. Trump says Saudi Crown Prince a great guy. Trauma-suicide plaguing Israeli soldiers upon return from Gaza. Reported by CNN. Meta's Israel policy chief tried to suppress pro-Palestinian Instagram posts. Russian propaganda unit appears to be behind spread of false Tim Walz sexual abuse claims. 5 days ago, a video surfaces as Tim Walz assaulted high school student Matthew Metro in 1997. In the U.S., Congress House panel finds Trump assassination event preventable. An interim report. 1 in 5 Republicans want Trump to call election invalid if he loses. Study shows that U.S. infant mortality spiked after the right to abortion was overturned. Obesity rates in U.S. not growing for first time in a decade, but severe obesity on the rise, as announced by CDC. Fire kills 153 people after fuel tanker crash in Nigeria. Harris interview with Fox News showcases a change in strategy for Democrats with network. It has been commented as, Democrats are helping restore Fox News to cable dominance. Steve Ballmer has spent $100 million in a new twist on political giving. Arm the public with facts says, Microsoft billionaire fights U.S. election disinformation. Trump tax plans could exempt 93 million Americans from income taxes. Mexican Navy says it seizes 8.3 tons of drugs in Pacific. Mexico's former public security chief sentenced to 38 years in U.S. drug case. Mexican Catholic priest and indigenous activist Perez, who spoke out against cartel violence, killed by 2 gunmen in southern Mexico. The head of Mali's military junta appoints himself to the highest rank in the army. Russia pushes New World Order agenda as it hosts beefed-up BRICS summit. Bloomberg comments as Vladimir Putin is gaining in his fight to divide Europe. UK's foreign chief predicts quick end to Russia and Ukraine war if Trump wins. Egypt increases fuel prices by 10% to 17%. Hybrids top petrol power for first time in EU new car sales, AS says. It has been reported that European Union's car market continued to decline in September, and in Europe September registrations minus 4.2%, Stellantis minus 26%. Tokyo Metro raises $2.3 billion in Japan's biggest IPO in 6 years. In India, Supreme Court says secularism a core part of the constitution. Holy See and China extend provisional agreement on appointment of bishops. As Synod features Chinese members, British Lord draws attention to religious persecution. In Ethiopia, UN chief advocates for permanent Security Council seats for Africa. Brazil, Lula reiterates opposition to Venezuela's entry into BRICS. 2 months ago, Venezuelan government has authoritarian bias, says Brazil's Lula. Taiwan rejects South African demand to move its representative office from capital. China holds live fire drills on island closest to Taiwan. Cryptocurrency transactions volume spiked nearly 25% in Brazil. Brazil's central bank chief sees huge de-anchoring of inflation expectations. Peru's former president Toledo gets more than 20 years in prison in case linked to corruption scandal. Nicolas Cage urges young actors to protect themselves from AI. With this technology wants to take your instrument. Blade Runner 2049 producers sue problematic Elon Musk and Warner Brothers Discovery over highly offensive AI imagery used in Tesla pitch. As Elon Musk sued by Blade Runner 2049, producers over robotaxi imagery. Rupert Murdoch's Dow Jones and New York Post sue Jeff Bezos-backed Perplexity for copyright infringement, accuse AI firm of massive free riding. xAI, Elon Musk's AI startup, launches an API. More startups are being spun out of Klarna than any other European fintech unicorn. Chinese humanoid robot is the fastest in the world thanks to its trusty pair of sneakers, as sneaker-wearing humanoid beats barefoot bot on Gobi Fun Run. Tokyo Override CG anime hits Netflix November 21st. Dracula author Bram Stoker's long-lost story Gibbet Hill rediscovered more than 130 years after it was written. Biden to honor Steven Spielberg, Spike Lee, Ken Burns with National Medals of Arts. iOS 18.1 with Apple Intelligence to arrive in the last week of October 2024, Apple confirms. Google retires Sitelink's search box feature. Netflix shuts down A-Team Blue gaming studio amid gaming shake-up. European Court of Justice rules against Sony in lawsuit over action replay cheats. The directive on the legal protection of computer programs does not allow the holder of that protection to prohibit the marketing by a third party of software, which merely changes variables transferred temporarily to a game console's RAM. Intuit seeks to scrub CEO comments on tax lobbying from Tech Podcast. 5 years ago it has been reported as TurboTax deliberately hid its free file page from search engines. ITV Studios launches Zoo 55 to lean into YouTube. Former Iron Maiden singer Paul Di'Anno dies at 66. Tom Holland to star in Christopher Nolan's next film, rumored to be a vampire movie set in the 1920s. Intelsat's 33E GEO satellite breaks up in orbit. China sets new world record with 800,000 times more magnetic field than Earth's. IUCN welcomes 12 new sites from Brazil, China, Colombia, France, Saudi Arabia and Zambia to the green list. Nearly 200 countries gather at COP16 to discuss meeting 2022 treaty pledges. In India, 3 men teased leopard in Madhya Pradesh's Shahdol, then it mauled them. German police say pizza order number 40 came with a side of cocaine. Mark Cuban says the election is now a battle between Kamala Harris and Elon Musk, not Donald Trump, and it has been commented as Mark Cuban wants Elon Musk and Kamala Harris to be friends. Piers Morgan comments on New York Post as, Trump's genius McDonald's stunt will fry Kamala at the ballot box. McDonald's tells workers it doesn't endorse political candidates after Trump visit. Google Scholar has a verified email for Sir Isaac Newton. Hackers reportedly impersonate cyber firm ESET to target organizations in Israel, as hacker hits ESET's partner in Israel to send malware that can wipe PCs, and ESET partner breached to send data wipers to Israeli organizations. Internet Archive breached again through stolen access tokens, as the Internet Archive hackers still have access to its internal emailing tools. Kurt Vonnegut's lost board game, GHQ is finally for sale. Britney Spears says she married herself in wild social media post. China hosts World Media Summit in Xinjiang amid human rights concerns. Trump works the fry station and holds a drive-through news conference at a Pennsylvania McDonald's. Trump selling a nearly $1 million MAGA experience amid New York rally. Breitbart reports that Trump said Madison Square Garden rally sold out in less than 3 hours. Going to be fantastic. Elon Musk's election promise of $1 million daily giveaway sparks call for probe. Salon comments as if Trump wins, blame the New York Times. Harris has no current plans to campaign with Biden before Election Day. Harris says Trump's profanity, vulgar remarks will repel voters, and Harris says Trump's behavior demeans the presidency after vulgar remarks. ByteDance terminates intern for sabotaging project, dismisses reports on losses. In Italy, anti-piracy shield halts Google Drive. Bloomberg comments as, Russia's spies hacked the entire nation of Georgia. 3 months ago, it has been reported as Russian spy service accuses U.S. of plotting regime change in Georgia. Microsoft unveils new autonomous AI agents in advance of competing Salesforce rollout. 1 month ago, Salesforce deploys autonomous AI agents, hailing the third wave of the AI revolution. IBM introduces Granite 3.0 as high-performing AI models built for business. Granite will become the default model of Consulting Advantage, an AI-powered delivery platform used by IBM's 160K consultants to bring new solutions to clients faster. FT reports that investors turn to data centers to capitalize on AI boom, and data center capital expenditure soars 38% amid AI boom. 3 months ago, it has been reported as Moody's report reveals surge in data center demand driven by AI boom. AI can help humans find common ground in democratic deliberation, as AI mediation tool may help reduce culture war rifts, say researchers. COVID-19 linked to type 2 diabetes onset in children. Nigeria to launch 4 satellites to strengthen space tech capability. Trump proposals could drain Social Security in 6 years, a budget group says. Biden to propose that insurers cover over-the-counter birth control. In crypto, $2 billion wagered on the next president, and billions in election bets raise the stakes of the presidential race. Moldova says yes to pro-EU constitutional changes by tiny margin. Kremlin says Moldova's elections were not free, and results raise many questions. Recently, Moldova president blames interference for potential EU referendum loss. I'll stand for Russian president when Putin's gone, Navalny's widow tells BBC. Trudeau has wrecked Canada and India political relations, says expelled envoy, and Trudeau ruined bilateral ties for political gains, says India's outgoing envoy. 4 days ago, India made horrific mistake violating Canadian sovereignty, says Trudeau. In the U.S., Supreme Court rejects bid to let president fire agency leaders. TD Bank executives oversee $670 billion drug money laundering scheme, avoid jail. 10 days ago, it has been reported that TD Bank to pay $3 billion in money laundering settlement with the Justice Department of USA. MetLife said to be in talks to buy Tycoon Lee's Pinebridge assets outside of China. A week after China's war games, U.S. and Canadian warships sail through Taiwan Strait. Close your eyes and buy U.S. stocks, not China stocks, Muddy Waters Carson Block says. Brazil environmental disaster victims take case against mining giant BHP to UK court, as BHP goes on trial in London over 2015 toxic Brazil mine disaster. Ericsson signs memorandum of understanding to roll out 5G in Nigeria. Nigeria blocks Shell's asset sale in the Niger Delta. As Nigeria approves Exxon oil asset sale, rejects Shell deal. India says it reached deal with China on army patrols along disputed border. Brazil's Lula cancels BRICS trip after minor brain hemorrhage from fall. Putin says his presence at G20 in Brazil would undermine work there. 7 Israelis arrested for spying on behalf of Iran. Suspects accused of collecting information on targeted military bases. Reportedly, Iran leaking sensitive information on top Israeli officials. Israel strikes banks across Lebanon to hit Hezbollah's finances. IDF making life impossible in northern Gaza, UN says. BBC comments as Moscow had high hopes for Trump in 2016. It's more cautious this time. 5 months ago, Washington Post reported that Donald Trump says he would bomb Moscow and Beijing. Russia-UE trade tripled during last 3 years, Putin says. Russia and Ukraine each bring home 95 prisoners of war in UE-mediated swap. Anti-drone drone developed by Ukraine to take out Iranian-designed kamikazes. AI bubble will burst 99% of players, says Baidu CEO. Deutsche Bank and Codex AI launch white paper to explore the transformative potential of generative AI in banking. Crypto, politics, tech and more. Daily News Digest by News Source Crawler, 20 October 2024. Bloomberg comments as AI detectors falsely accuse students of cheating, with big consequences in the U.S., parents sue school that gave bad grade to student who used AI to complete assignment. Deep learning AI model scans dark matter of genomic data to find 70,000 never-before-seen RNA viruses. Anthropic CEO thinks AI may outsmart most humans by 2026. KSB.KZ acquires majority share of Turkey's Hepsiburada for $1.1 billion. FTC investigating John Deere repair practices, documents show. Embraer CEO does not deny a possible rival to the Boeing 737 and Airbus A320, as Embraer CEO says jet maker studying possibilities for a new aircraft. Ireland drafting urgent crypto laws before EU money laundering rules. European Central Bank claims early Bitcoin investors exploit new buyers. Trump family will get 75% of crypto token revenue. As Trump family gets 75% of crypto coin revenue, has no liability, new document reveals. Reportedly, Bitcoin miners take divergent paths 6 months after revenue halving. BlackRock's ETF chief says 75% of its Bitcoin buyers are crypto fans new to Wall Street. BlackRock eyes biddle for derivatives collateral in crypto exchanges. Trump fixates on Arnold Palmer as all man in showers during profane rally. Dominion monitoring misinfo after Musk, MTG revive voting machine conspiracy theories. Elon Musk gives random petition signer a $1 million check as he announces million-dollar handouts in swing states. Leaked documents show U.S. intelligence on Israel's plans to attack Iran, sources say, as pro-Iranian account leaks alleged U.S. intelligence on Israel's attack plans. U.S. investigating unauthorized release of classified documents on Israel attack plans. Kamala Harris publicly agrees with protester accusing Israel of genocide with saying, "What he's talking about, it's real." Al Arabiya reports as, a Palestinian-American cardiologist loses 175 family members in Gaza. Emirates team New Zealand Brilliance takes the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup to match point at 6-2. Pope Francis says, "Sports are the hymn to life." Harris is turning to video games and sports betting to try and win back some of the bro vote from Trump. In France, Marine Le Pen's niece starts own party but backs aunt for president. Switzerland expels Austrian far-right figure Martin Sellner. Undercover film exposing UK far-right activists pulled from London Festival, and director of far-right documentary pulled from London Film Festival says, fear is its own form of censorship. Trump says, China respects him because she knows he is crazy. 5 days ago, China deploys record 125 warplanes in large-scale military drill in warning to Taiwan, and Taiwan military on high alert as Chinese drills encircle the island. Xi Jinping calls on China's army to step up preparations for war. She says China willing to be a partner friend with the U.S. Taiwan reports surrounded by 153 Chinese military aircraft during drills. Moldova holds election. EU referendum amid Russian interference claims. EU leaders to discuss stricter measures to curb arrivals of asylum seekers, and EU leaders embrace foreign return centers to counter illegal migration. It has been commented as call for jet-set tax on Europe's frequent flyers could raise billions, and Europeans made 6% more tourism trips in 2023. From Iran, 7 individuals and 7 entities sanctioned in response to Iran's missile transfer to Russia by the European Council. Israel vows Iran will pay for Hezbollah attack on Netanyahu home. Tehran distances itself. Iran hosts joint naval drills with Russia, Oman and Indian Ocean. Cigna resumes merger discussions with Humana after talks ended last year. In the UK Whitehall, the state mechanism to deliver plan to mutualize crisis hit post office. Indian tycoon Ratan Tata dies aged 86. Video published by Ukraine allegedly shows North Korean soldiers in Russia. Captured Leopard 2 resurfaces at Russia's main tank factory. Ukraine says it struck airfield and largest explosives factory in Russia. U.S. shields Lebanese citizens from deportation amid Israel's war. Cubans struggle as power not fully restored to the island after days of blackout. Justin Trudeau testifies that Russia funded Tucker Carlson and Jordan Peterson in support of their anti-vax COVID claims, as Tucker Carlson funded by Russian propaganda machine. Justin Trudeau testifies under oath. Teen smoking and other tobacco use dropped to lowest level in 25 years, CDC reports. UN reports that 1 in 7 children and teens impacted by mental health conditions. Ozempic shows promise for treating alcohol and drug abuse, study finds. Kamala Harris defends her economic plan and insists she won't be more of Joe Biden. In a tense interview with Fox News. J.D. Vance faces backlash for referring to his children as his wife's kids in new interview. Tim Walz struggles with shotgun at pheasant hunt, gets mocked. China's rise in research papers has an unfair home bias, say U.S. and Japan studies. Japan pressed by U.S. lawmakers to strengthen chip curbs on China. Reportedly, China posts slowest growth since aftermath of zero COVID curbs. Crypto, politics, tech and more. Daily News Digest by News Source Crawler. 18 October 2024. In the U.S., Raytheon Company to pay over $950 million in connection with defective pricing, foreign bribery, and export control schemes. Treasury announces enhanced fraud detection processes, including machine learning AI, prevented and recovered over $4 billion in fiscal year 2024. FCC mandates universal hearing aid compatibility for all mobile phones. X updates its privacy policy to allow third parties to train AI models with its data. Google announces Gemini app team moves to DeepMind. Assistant now part of Pixel and Android. IMD, a Swiss business management school, has created an AI safety clock to evaluate the risk posed by artificial intelligence outside of human control. X looks to steer lawsuits to Musk's favorite Tesla investor judge. New records show Texas judge on X case didn't sell his Tesla shares after taking the suit. The specialists who authenticate trading cards for eBay are rallying for a union contract. India plans laptop import curbs to boost local manufacturing, sources say. Netflix forecasts 2025 revenue to be at least $43 billion, up 11% plus, as Netflix promises more content in 2025 after patchier than normal 2024 due to strikes. Tom Holland says he read a Spider-Man 4 script with Zendaya, but it needs work. Meta partners with horror movie maker Blumhouse Productions to test Movie Gen. Stripe in talks to buy crypto startup Bridge for $1 billion. Sam Altman's WorldCoin rebrands as World and launches updated iris scanning orb. FBI arrests man for SEC social media hack over fake Bitcoin ETF approval post. In the U.S., Google to block election ads after polls close on Election Day. Amazon will stream election night coverage hosted by Brian Williams. Independent review finds systemic Secret Service failures enabled first Trump assassination attempt. Apple celebrates 10 years of Apple Pay, with Klarna being available to UK and US users, and Apple Pay accessible on third-party web browsers and computers. ECB cuts interest rate again as inflation appears under control. Chinese self-driving startup Pony AI files for US IPO. Unity releases Unity Engine 6, with open-source AI models over Centis, automated game opponents and game outcome predictions using AI, and simpler multiplayer game creation. Voice actors in Japan create group to fight unauthorized AI use of their voices, as Yuki Kaji teams up with Code Geass and Hunter x Hunter voice actors, after AI becomes the latest threat to the anime industry. Foreign porn websites blocked in France for lack of age control checks. Trump says Apple CEO Cook called him with concerns about EU penalties. Donald Trump says Tim Cook is a better Apple CEO than Steve Jobs. You may consider revenue from other Elon Musk businesses if it finds X, report says. Guten partners with TikTok Shop, enabling shoppable commerce powered by print on demand. Instagram announces new tools to fight sextortion and help teen victims. Blue Sky gains 500,000 new users in one day after X changes how blocking works. Carbon Mapper shares the first emissions detection images from CO2 tracking satellite. ESA's Euclid Dark Universe Telescope reveals first breathtaking images from massive cosmic atlas map. Prada and Axiom Space unveil NASA spacesuits to be used in Artemis 3 moon mission. Alien life could lurk on Mars beneath protective ice, study suggests. Half of all global food threatened by growing water crisis, report says. Ultra-powered MRI scans show damage to brain's control center, is behind long-lasting COVID-19 symptoms. Google launches Notebook LM Business to make enterprise AI audio text. Adobe Project Turntable makes a 2D vector drawing can be arbitrarily rotated in 3D, resulting in a 2D vector art representing the object from the new view. NVIDIA, MIT, and Tsinghua University-led Sana, a text-to-image framework can generate images up to 4096 by 4096 resolution. Eric Adams' legal hopes in corruption case could depend on Trump victory, claimed by sources. In the U.S., 4.8M borrowers, including 1M in public service, have had student debt forgiven, Biden administration says. LA Catholic Church payouts for clergy abuse top $1.5 billion with new record settlement, as one day ago, Archdiocese of Los Angeles agrees to pay $880 million settlement to clergy sex abuse victims. U.S. hits Houthis with precision strikes on weapon facilities in Yemen. Biden tells Netanyahu, it's time to end Gaza war after Sinwar's elimination. Israel says Yahya Sinwar, Hamas top leader in Gaza, killed in major blow to militant group. Disney developing Prince Charming movie, lines up director. Mr. and Mrs. Smith casting new John and Jane for season 2. Billie Eilish among those rumored. Dirty Dancing being adapted as a new Broadway-bound stage musical. With first step to World War, North Korea preparing 10,000 soldiers to join Russia's war, Zelensky confirms. Trump says Ukraine's Zelensky should never have let that war start. U.S. sanctions force Sputnik radio off the air, as 2 U.S. radio stations end Russian-backed propaganda programming. Crypto, politics, tech and more. Daily News Digest by News Source Crawler, 17 October 2024. Thomas Tuchel hired as England head coach ahead of 2026 World Cup. Famed Roman sculpture, Apollo Belvedere re-emerges after major restoration. Call Her Daddy podcast host inks $100 million deal with SiriusXM. Britney Spears reveals she is writing a novel. Win for Musk's Starlink, as India says no to spectrum auction pitch from Ambani Middle. Elon Musk's X dodges EU's DMA, as Block decides platform isn't important enough for fairness controls, as Elon Musk's X evades compliance with landmark EU antitrust regulation. TSMC third quarter profit beats expectations, as AI boom drives 54% hike. Reportedly, generative AI startups get 40% of all VC investment in cloud amid ChatGPT buzz. Amazon goes nuclear to invest more than $500 million to develop small modular reactors. In the USA, EPA can force coal-fired power plants to drastically cut carbon pollution, Supreme Court says. Deepfake romance scam raked in $46 million from men across Asia, police say. Brazil arrests US duty hacker tied to FBI national public data breaches. 2 months ago, US duty hacker behind $3 billion SSN leak reveals himself as Brazilian citizen. In the U.S., 2 Sudanese nationals indicted for alleged role in anonymous Sudan cyberattacks on hospitals, government facilities, and other critical infrastructure in Los Angeles and around the world. The Financial Times comments as, Meta criticized for calling its AI models open source. 2 months ago, Meta is accused of bullying the open source community, and 1 year ago it has been commented as, Meta's Llama 2 license is not open source, by Open Source Initiative CEO. Mistral releases new AI models optimized for laptops and phones. Robinhood launches desktop platform, adds futures and index options trading to app. Ripple leads $25 million round in Binomial as the derivatives exchange launches futures trading platform in U.S. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway hikes its SiriusXM stake to 32% after Liberty deal. Activist Starboard Value has $1 billion Pfizer stake, taps former executives for help, sources say. Toyota joins with Hyundai's Boston Dynamics on AI-powered robots. Expedia shares gain on report that Uber explored making a bid. The FTC makes it easier to cancel subscriptions like streaming services, memberships and Prime. McKinsey to pay at least $500 million in DOJ opioid probe. 3 years ago it has been reported as McKinsey never told the FDA it was working for opioid makers while also working for the agency. J.D. Vance says Donald Trump did not lose the 2020 election. Donald Trump bears responsibility for January 6 attack, Jack Smith argues in new filing. Trump, running for president at 78, says only stupid people put old people in top federal roles. FBI quietly revised 2022 crime data to show violent offenses rose rather than dropped. In the U.S., former GOP representative Liz Cheney endorses Democrat Susan Wild. Trump once again tries to silence Stormy Daniels before election, claimed in a report. Italy passes anti-surrogacy law that effectively bars gay couples from becoming parents. Apple expands tools to help businesses connect with customers, as any verified business can now create a consistent brand and location presence across apps that customers use every day, including Apple Maps, Wallet, and Mail. Winamp deletes entire GitHub source code repo after a rocky few weeks. Crypto, politics, tech and more. Daily News Digest by News Source Crawler, 15 October 2024. The U.S. Defense and Homeland Security Departments have paid $700 million for AI projects since ChatGPT's launch. Adobe's Firefly video model claimed to be the first publicly available video model designed to be safe for commercial use. Firefly integrated into Photoshop, Illustrator, Adobe Express and now Premiere Pro. Google signs deal with startup to build small nuclear reactors to power AI. Chinese cyber agency rejects U.S. hacking claims in new report. U.S. weighs capping exports of AI chips from NVIDIA and AMD to some countries. Chinese researchers break RSA encryption with a quantum computer. FIDO Alliance publishes new specifications to promote user choice and enhanced UX for passkeys, to enable users to securely move passkeys and all other credentials across providers. Chip industry faces talent shortage as revenues head to $1 trillion, as commented by Deloitte. Tesla's humanoid robot remotely controlled by employees during event. Crypto company Tether talking to commodity traders about lending them its billions. MrBeast allegedly reaped $10 million promoting and dumping altcoins. Bourse Stuttgart Digital chooses AWS for crypto infrastructure. Some of FIFA's transfer rules contrary to EU law in Lassana Daira case ruling, says European Court of Justice. James Gunn assures every announced DCU project is still coming despite lack of updates. Legendary Entertainment buys out Wanda Group's ownership stake. Trump scraps town hall Q&A. Plays music videos for crowd instead. Harris could join Joe Rogan podcast and hunt for male votes, sources say. Kamala Harris will sit down with Brett Baier for her first Fox News interview. FEMA temporarily pauses aid in parts of North Carolina over reported threats. Report claims, Netanyahu says Israel will strike Iranian military targets before November 5 election. Biden warned Iran that killing Trump would be an act of war, claimed in a report. U.S. warns Iran to stop plotting against Trump, says U.S. official. In the U.S., 30% of the cameras in Border Patrol's main surveillance system are broken, memo says. BBC boss says word talent banned as workplace culture review begins, and BBC boss says, Russia and China taking advantage of world service cuts. Venezuela cancels passports of dozens of activists and journalists. Crypto, politics, tech and more. Daily News Digest by News Source Crawler 14 October 2024. U.S. Labor Board accuses Apple of restricting workers' Slack, social media use. U.S. blacklisted Chinese surveillance camera maker Hikvision said to be cutting jobs. Reportedly, Apple wants to launch smart glasses to salvage the billions it spent on Vision Pro. Hezbollah drone attack kills 4 IDF soldiers as U.S. prepares to send missile system to Israel. As U.S. confirms it's sending THAAD, the missile defense battery, 100 troops to operate it, to Israel. Secret documents show Hamas tried to persuade Iran to join its October 7 attack. It has been reported as Harris addresses to Jewish voters, with all options on the table to stop Iran from going nuclear. Nobel Prize in Economics 2024 awarded to trio for work on differences in prosperity between nations, as trio of professors win Nobel Economics Prize for work on post-colonial wealth. BlackRock's assets hit record $11.5 trillion amid private market push. China property stocks jump after Beijing proposes measures to lift troubled sector. Uber, Lyft avoided millions in pay by locking NYC drivers out of apps, claimed in a report. X drops Unilever from lawsuit against advertisers, citing a new agreement. Boeing to cut 17,000 jobs and delay first 777X delivery as strike hits finances. AI company Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei lays his vision on AI with an essay of title Machines of Loving Grace, on basis of maximizing leverage, avoiding perception of propaganda, avoiding grandiosity and avoiding sci-fi baggage. Apple researchers find large language models lack robust mathematical reasoning abilities. Meta's AI chief Yann LeCun dismisses AI existential threat concerns as complete BS. Rural Americans are dying younger, living less healthy lives, alarming report reveals. Genetic analysis challenges the idea that loneliness directly causes diseases. Astronomers use Webb to probe a steam world in the constellation Pisces. SpaceX successfully catches returning Starship booster. South Korea tech exports slow for second month in risk to growth. Anna Kendrick's directorial debut Woman of the Hour is a tense exploration of inescapable misogyny. Anthony Hopkins to star in Maserati, The Brothers, biopic of famous car family directed by Bobby Moresco. Alien, Romulus sets date for digital and physical releases. AI tongue can detect difference between Coke and Pepsi, research finds. iRobot director accuses Elon Musk of taking his ideas for new Tesla robot. Van and Moore with Hey Elon, can I have my designs back please? Casio launches AI pet robot for emotional support. Mass die-off in bats across U.S. linked to over 1,000 human infant deaths. France/bird flu outbreaks by vaccinating ducks, as France to start second bird flu vaccination campaign in October. Hurricane Milton was intensified by human-driven climate change, say scientists. Wall Street Journal comments as, attacks on gay rights push Russia's LGBTQ community into the shadows. Star Wars unveils first look of its first trans woman stormtrooper called Sister with armor in the color of the transgender flag. Michigan Catholic bishops condemn Whitmer's Doritos video stunt as offensive, and Catholics hold rosary rally outside Gretchen Whitmer's house after Doritos video sparks backlash. 2 days ago, Whitmer reenacts viral trend by feeding podcaster Dorito, drawing criticism from Republicans. Trump pledges raises and 10,000 more agents in border plan. Man with guns arrested near Trump rally in Coachella. Riverside sheriff says they stopped assassination attempt. Armed man, Vem Miller arrested outside Trump's Coachella rally, as local sheriff insists it was third assassination attempt, despite letting perp walk on meager $5,000 bail. Trump says national abortion ban is off the table, but we'll see what happens. Cheney does not have faith Mike Johnson will certify election. America First Policy Institute, a group advising Trump, says its systems were breached, as Trump-aligned group believed to have been attacked by Chinese hackers. Reportedly, black voters drift from Democrats, imperiling Harris's bid, poll shows. Musk says he is all in on Trump in U.S. election. Trump plans to appoint Musk as Secretary of Cost-Cutting. California officials reject more SpaceX rocket launches, with some citing Musk's X posts. Elon Musk says he will take legal action after California officials cited his politics when rejecting SpaceX launches. Obama tells black men it's not acceptable to sit out election. Russia's illegal use of Starlink terminals hasten fall of Volodar, The Washington Post reports. Unknown drone fleet breached U.S. military base airspace in Virginia for 17 straight days, claimed in a report. The Atlantic comments as rumors on X are becoming the right's new reality. The Federalist comments as Kamala Harris is too stupid to be president, also comments as a vote for Donald Trump is a vote for normalcy. Judge agrees to unseal additional filings from January 6 case as Trump signals challenge. Boris Johnson defends Trump's claims on Ukraine and January 6 riot. Trump requests military plane, increased protection amid security threats. Trump campaign connected with Elon